Hey, what's up everyone? Baller here. This is the second game for today, January 18, 2024, NBA Game Day. This is an Eastern Conference matchup between Toronto Raptors and Chicago Bulls. This one will happen at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, so that's going to be 8:30 a.m. here in Manila. I am just inviting everyone who have not subscribed yet to our YouTube account or YouTube channel, Baller. Please click on the subscribe button below. At the same time, hit on that bell logo. That way, automatically, you guys will be receiving notifications whenever new videos are uploaded. Approaching this game, Chicago Bulls, they got a record of 19 wins and 23 losses, while for Toronto Raptors, they are at 16 and 25. We all know that we actually provide free picks right here in our YouTube channel, but for those who would want to avail our premium picks or premium packages, just go ahead and try to reach us through Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, or even Messenger. Just check on the descriptions of our videos and you would see the details right there. By the way, the spread that is given is minus 2.5, and that's actually given towards the Bulls. Toronto Raptors, they would actually have the home court advantage on this. In terms of momentum, well, we got to give it to Toronto Raptors. You know, they just won last night against Miami Heat. But for their last 10 games, the Raptors, they have only won 4 times. Now, for Chicago Bulls approaching this game, they are coming off a loss. But for their last 10 games, they are the more, I would say, how do I say this? They are more reliable in terms of the winning percentage, as they have actually won 5 out of their last 10. Now, in terms of fatigue, well, that's quite obvious. Toronto Raptors just played last night, so we got to give the advantage towards Chicago Bulls. Now, let's take a look at the availability of the players and health of both teams. All right, so starting with Toronto Raptors, Otto Porter Jr. and Jakob Poeltl, they are still out for this game. And of course, the newly traded players, Bruce Brown, Kyra Lewis, and Jordan Nwora. They are still tagged as game time decision. We ain't sure if they would be able to play already, if all those papers and all those NBA stuff are already approved and all that. So they are still tagged as game time decision for this game. So again, 2 players are out, and those are because of injuries, Otto Porter and their big man Poeltl, and those newly traded players from Pacers and New Orleans, Bruce Brown, Lewis, and Nwora. We still ain't sure if ever they would be playing on this one already. Now let's take a look at Chicago Bulls. For the Bulls, there are 2 players who are still confirmed out, and of course that's Lonzo Ball and Torrey Craig. Patrick Williams is listed as questionable for this game, and actually along with Dosunmu, 2 players. So Dosunmu and Patrick Williams, they are tagged as questionable for this one, and we have Andre Drummond and Dalen Terry, who are tagged as probable for this one. So that's some good news for Chicago, having those 2 tagged as probable, meaning highly likely they would be able to play. This one's tough, but I gotta say that Chicago Bulls would still have the advantage in terms of health, especially considering the fact that Poeltl is still out for Toronto, and Drummond is highly likely suiting up for them. So that that just solidifies the size and the length of Chicago Bulls, knowing that Poeltl will still not be able to play for Toronto. All right, so this is going to be very interesting. One of the games that I would really focus on, even if there's the New York Knicks going on the other channel, because Toronto Raptors, they are just coming off a win. That was a huge win over Miami Heat. And they are still at home, so they must be getting some some support, of course, from their home crowd. I wonder what kind of Toronto Raptors team this would be, right? Because they just got small, but we saw what happened last night. Now there's more freedom. Now there's more freedom for Gary Trent. Now there's more freedom for Barrett. Their outside shooting, for me, would improve. But then again, we have to face the fact that they just got small. And yes, Poeltl is still not here. So for me, that's Chicago Bulls' main point of attack. Poeltl is not there. So the one who will be acting as center would either be Barnes or their young guy. What's the name again? Um, Forgot the name. Sorry. Porter. There you go. And Porter will do his best, of course, to play as one of the bigs of Toronto. But man, Chicago Bulls, they just have to be extra aggressive, attacking the paint. They have Vucevic, right? They have Vucevic. They have Drummond, highly likely because he is tagged as probable. And if Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan can just actually, apply their veteran smarts right there, they would get a lot of, fouls from Toronto Raptors. These Toronto Raptors, again, mind you, they played last night, so Chicago should be at least like half a step ahead of these Toronto Raptors players. So for me, Chicago Bulls, all they gotta do is to really attack the basket, attack the paint. Toronto Raptors, I'm expecting them to play a lot of zone in here, because of, again, lack of size and lack of length to put on the Bulls' offense. And I feel like Chicago Bulls should be successful in this one. So my pick on this one would be Chicago Bulls minus 2.5. I know Toronto won last night, and that's a huge win against Miami Heat, but just one win won't really take away the fact that Chicago Bulls, they are more consistent as compared to Toronto Raptors recently. Again, so our pick would be Chicago Bulls minus 2.5. I'm expecting a huge game from Zach LaVine on this. These are the type of games that he likes. That there's not much defense inside the paint of the other opponent. Man, I'm expecting Zach LaVine to have a lot of points. Again, that's Bulls minus 2.5. Peace out, Pasay love, and God bless.